Hi, welcome back to my garden. It's early spring here on Vancouver Island, so I wanted to just walk around and give you a little tour of what's looking good right now, and also give you a few updates on what I've been working on over the winter. So starting here in the hummingbird garden, and it's Hyacinth Alley right now. It smells amazing. The fritillaries are also in bloom, and these daffodils, it's their first season in the ground. I think they're Polar Hunter, and they actually have a really nice scent as well. And then a couple months ago, we had like a nice dry spell, so we decided to paint the house. I'm not like 100% sure on the color, but basically one of the intentions was to get a nice dark color so that flowers would show up really nicely against it. So I think on that front, it's a success. And it's still growing on me, so I'll see how I feel about it throughout the season. So yeah, this is an awesome spot to sit right now. There's generally like a light breeze. So wherever you're sitting around here, yeah, you just get like this really nice scent. I also have a bunch of pots that I've set up. So these tulips, it's a little early for tulips for us, but I grew them in pots in our little cold frame over winter. So they're kind of getting ready to bloom a little bit earlier than the ones that are in the landscape. This side's looking very green after being like just like a bare patch of mulch all winter. It's really exciting to see like all the foliage and like the previews of everything to come. All the lupin leaves, this is going to be a really nice bunch. Some primulas in the back. I cut back the clematis that grows up this trellis here. So that should start flushing out pretty soon too. And yeah, the irises, alliums, everything's kind of starting to come up now. And then just to the back of the hummingbird garden, there's this plant here, which I think is an Edgeworthia. I'm not 100% sure, but it's super cute. I love the like pale yellow. And then right across from it, we have the anniversary garden. So our anniversary is the end of March, and I wanted to plant a garden. I actually set this up last year so I can put some footage. It used to be lawn all the way up to the trellis. So I like dug that out, added some soil, planted a bunch of things. So I wanted one of its main flushes to be kind of early spring, which I think was successful. I like love how it looks. Also kind of gone bananas with the hyacinths on this side too, just because I love this scent this time of year when there isn't much else. A bunch of fritillaries. I don't remember the hyacinths. I think it's like Deft Blue or Delft Blue or something. And then City of Harlem, I think, is the yellow one. And then the fritillaries are Early Sensation. So yeah, one of the main flushes is for early spring, which is right now. And then there's a bunch of stuff that's starting to come through that'll bloom kind of later in the season. A bunch of our native big leaf lupins, catmint, woolly sunflowers, kind of a mix of like natives and non-natives that I love. Some things did okay over winter. The Dusty Miller, like, it's a little bit borderline in our zone. I grew these from seed last year. They've kind of survived, so I'm kind of just like letting them do their thing. And if they continue to look scraggly, I have like a new batch coming. I don't think the artichokes loved it. Although it didn't get too cold this winter, it was very wet. So they all look kind of like this. So I'm not sure if they'll make it, but I kind of grow them for the foliage anyway. So we'll see. If they don't come back, I can replace them. And then coming back over here, the bulb lawn. So right now it's all the daffodil minnows, some of the little like baby blue Muscari grape hyacinths, and there's already been a flush of irises and a flush of like crocuses. So this is kind of the last hurrah. Again, I love the combination of the pale yellow and then the like hedge of blue hyacinths in the background. Eventually in the season that will become a lavender hedge, so I kind of like the continuity of the color. This is the cold frame. Floppers and Causey. I'm not sure if you can see them through the glare. But yeah, anyway, so this is the cold frame. This is where I forced those tulips. And right now it's pretty empty because I've planted most things out, but I have a tray of sweet peas that have just germinated. So I'll plant those out once they're a couple inches tall. And then these are our native Douglas aster, which kind of mixed germination. I see at least like 10 or 15 in there. And those ones spread quite a bit, so that should be plenty. And just over here, the crevice garden, the humpback whale garden, looking great. I did a video, I don't know, a couple months ago before we had a cold snap where I covered it with little incandescent lights and then a bed sheet and then like a plastic tarp. And like shockingly, a lot of the ones that are kind of, in theory, temperate, this one's, I think, Graptocedum, Vera Higgins, there's a few different ones. The agave and yuccas are hardy in our area, but because it was their first year in the ground, I kind of wanted to protect them as well. But I was surprised how effective it was, because like this little guy, I'll have to post the name because I always forget, but that one I think is a zone 10, so technically can't go below like -1, and it survived. So yeah, exciting times. I think the combination of, yeah, just protecting it during that one cold snap where it went to -9 Celsius, which is like maybe 18 Fahrenheit or something. Yeah, so I guess just, the combination of the protection and then also the concrete does heat up during the day. So I guess that also provided some heat at night. A little arrangement here. Again, more of those tulips and stuff that I forced in the cold frame. Some of the more tender succulents getting acclimated out here. Again, the wall color looks amazing with cool plants in front of it. Lewis's little fountain. And I love all the little blues. The violets, wood anemones, hyacinths, Scylla, I want to say Scylla. Maybe that's not the right name. And we've been keeping the pond here pretty wild. There's like duckweed, there's some like algae and stuff, but it is full of frogs. I'll post a picture of one that I saw the other day, little Pacific tree frogs. I think they're also called chorus frogs, or it's two different species. But I'll play a clip of them at night because they are so loud. It's kind of amazing. Star magnolia is just about to do its thing. I feel like, yeah, I don't know, another day of sunshine and we'll be good to go. I don't know if it's focusing. And then coming through here, well, there's a great view of the glacier this morning. There's a little bit of noise from the street. It's like 8:45, so I think people are going to work and school and stuff. So this is Artemis's garden, and it's a hot garden, color-wise, and also pretty hot, I guess. It gets a lot of sunshine, and the theme is kind of yellows, oranges, reds. So these are the early daffodils. I want to say like Rivali's Sensation or something like that. And they're kind of just on their way out. But the fritillaries are taking over and they look so good. I love this color. Kind of like reddish, a little bit brown, but like perfect for the garden. I also love how the yellowish like pines and thuyas kind of pick up from the daffodils. There's like a little mini hedge of flowering pomegranates here. And I'm not sure if you'll be able to see the buds, but I think they're gonna look amazing in, I don't know, a few weeks. And then in addition to the fritillaries, there's the native Oregon grape that's just getting going here. And yeah, I tried to select kind of some cool foliage as a backdrop for all the hot colors. So kind of some bluer tones. This is a kind of semi-dwarf Jeffrey pine. And there's some California poppy foliage. So those will be blooming in no time as well. And then taking over from those early daffodils, there's a bunch of Congress daffodils, which have that kind of orange center, split corona. And those ones I planted last year, so they're getting bushy pretty quickly. I have this big root ball here, which is from a maple that we had to take down. And next time we rent a pressure washer, I want to like pressure wash all the dirt off and then see. I think it will be like a pretty cool kind of, I guess, root ball, but like stump to like plant things in, make it a little stumpery. And then back here by the veggie beds, I started adding some moss over here. It was like a little bit annoying to add, and I'm not sure if it's gonna take or not, but anyway, it looks cool and it kind of softens it a bit, so that's good. And then I built this table. We didn't really have a dining table like indoors or out, so we just always used a folding table. But I was excited to have something a little bit nicer. And this is all wood from our property as well that we harvested this year. And we're both really tall, so it's kind of built for our proportions, which is also nice. I planted out some butter crunch lettuce, and then that's the broccoli that overwintered here, and behind them are the Alaska peas, which have just started popping out of the ground. Once they get a little taller, I'm gonna remove the plastic. I just didn't want them to get like too wet. And then on this side, the backsplash isn't fixed in. I'm still trying to figure out what's gonna look good, but I made this potting bench, and I left like the gaps so that when I'm done and it's all messy, I can just like hose it off. This stump is fir, which is pretty heavy wood, so this was like ridiculous to bring up here. I brought it on the dolly and the wheels were like completely flat because it was so heavy, like not because they were actually like empty. So I got this sink from the thrift store for like $15 and then kind of designed it around it to be the right size. And then there's a hookup right under there that has hot water and cold water. So I think I'm just gonna run like a little hose with like a sprayer so that I can wash off pots and stuff. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. I also know Lewis is gonna love working out here from his laptop. And down over here, I built this kind of other little like cold frame situation. We have a bunch of Brussels sprouts, some more lettuce. You can see all the garlic in there too. The middle section I left open or like uncovered because it's the carrots, and I just wanted it's been raining like every other day, so I've read that they just like it like really moist in order to germinate, so I figured they would love that. Some of the kind of purple Mitsuna coming up in here. And then this is the strawberry and asparagus bed, and I was very excited that there's asparagus coming up. And this is the third season, so we're gonna start harvesting. I'll try to show you. It's like thicker than my pinky. And for strawberries too, I feel like it went bananas. It's, I think, yeah, also the third year for the strawberries, so they should start to really produce. And these are the ever-bearing kind, so they should produce kind of heaviest in late summer, but starting in June. The raspberry bed coming alive. And then one of the other winter projects was making a big woodshed. So the one that we had kind of barely had enough to get us through, like it was big enough to get us through this season, which wasn't even that cold. And this one is about 3 times bigger. So it's 6 feet by 12 feet. Hold on, I have to show you the roof because although you can't really see it if you're not like up here, it was one of the things I was most proud of. Anyways, I was building it. I was like, oh, it's actually kind of nice. I sometimes like sit in there when I'm playing with the dogs if it's raining. So yeah, I don't know. It kind of inspired me to make maybe a little covered bench or something for somewhere else in the garden. Hello, ladies. This is Marigold and Laurel. And we have 4 more girls coming the end of April, which I'm excited for. So I built an extension. We're calling it the Cluck Mansion. Built an extension on their coop. So it was originally kind of just that square part in there. But we had a couple casualties kind of this fall and winter. And I wanted to have a bigger like outdoor protected area for them where they could be, I don't know, like for the evening, if we were going to be like late coming back. I basically just didn't want them to be completely cooped up. So yeah, anyway, it works well. And then as we get more hens as well, so we have either 3 or 4 more coming kind of this month. And then we were also thinking of getting a rooster. And then for here, I used like a metal roof. It was the first time I had worked with it. It was kind of annoying to set up, but I liked how it looked in the end. And this is their entrance. They're following me around in the hopes that I have mealyworms, which I do not have on me right now. In this area we call the roundabout garden. Also a ton of frogs in here. And somebody had actually asked me about this obelisk, which I made last year. And it's done pretty well. I noticed that I think 3 or 4 of the canes are dead. So the plan is I should do it like this time of year because they're about to leaf out. But basically I'm gonna go cut 4 new canes and I'll weave them in their place and then take these ones out. And hopefully the new ones will take, but if not, I can always do that again. But yeah, so I made this last winter. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. And I think once it leaves out, I'll start kind of cutting the top back so it'll get all bushy up there and be kind of like a broccoli shape. And then in the greenhouse, this is the barrier for when it's open so that the ladies don't come in and peck all the little seedlings. But yeah, there's a bunch of things going on. Some creeping thyme, broccoli, lettuce, Walla Walla onions. Up here I have this year's Dusty Miller, some white lavender, Crispedia, a bunch of dahlias and stuff which are still sleeping but should be waking up pretty soon. And then some of the more tender things that I overwintered, some of the fuchsia and pelargoniums, geraniums. The hosta's already coming up. I thought that was a slug, but it's not. And then here, okay, it's not much to look at, but I didn't think any of these had made it. Hold on, I'll see if I can get it to focus. However, this is our native tiger lily, and I think 3 or 2 germinated. So we'll see, I'll give it a little longer. But I was really excited about that because I had sowed them, I think in the fall, and nothing had happened. So even, oh yeah, here's the third one. But yeah, even getting three, I'm like super excited about because you cannot find these bulbs. Like they're so hard to find at stores. So yeah, anyway, I'll show it. I think I have a picture of one from that I found in the wild. And then the little Mayer lemon. I don't think it's like super happy right now, this time of year, but it does have this one lemon, so hopefully with a little more sunshine it will ripen up. I'll see if I can pick it up on the camera, but this is one of my favorite of our native flowering shrubs. It's the red flowering currant. Let me see if I can get it to focus. There we go. And it's one of the main food sources for rufous hummingbirds this time of year. So they overwinter down in, I think, Mexico and California, and then they follow them up the coast as they come into bloom. So I haven't seen my first one yet, but a friend who lives kind of 20 minutes south from here just saw his first today. So hopefully in the next week or so, they'll appear here. So in addition to enjoying all the emergent foliage and having color and scent back in the garden, it's also just been so nice to have animals back in the garden. I've been seeing so many bumblebees everywhere. The tree frogs are really active. The Anna's hummingbirds are really active. The rufuses hopefully will be here soon. And yeah, there's also like a sense of accomplishment for having made it through the long dark winter. So yeah, sometimes it's kind of hard to go in at the end of the day, and there's also just like so much to do, like seedlings to pot up and all that. And it's also just so nice to, like, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but there's just like birds singing the whole time and it's just like so nice to just like hang out in the garden. Yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed the tour and the updates, and I'll try to film something again soon because I feel like the garden's like changing so quickly too, that I just like want to keep up with it. Hey, Cosmo. So yeah, thanks for coming along for the tour, and I'll catch you next time.